Have you ever wondered if the most dangerous lie you believe about God is one you never consciously chose? Not a lie someone taught you. Not a lie from culture. A lie your own brain quietly created. Because there is a feeling many believers carry, but rarely admit out loud. You pray. You wait. You stay faithful. And nothing happens. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And somewhere beneath the surface, a conclusion begins to form. Maybe God is ignoring me. Maybe He has moved on. Maybe I've done something wrong. Maybe I've been rejected. What's frightening is that this conclusion feels completely true. Not emotionally true. Actually true. The kind of truth that settles into your chest and follows you into every prayer. But what if I told you that the feeling of rejection may have absolutely nothing to do with God's opinion of you? What if the voice convincing you that heaven has gone silent is coming from a system inside your brain that was never designed to understand God in the first place? And what if that misunderstanding is causing thousands of believers to walk away from promises that were still unfolding? Stay with me, because the answer is hidden inside a discovery that shocked neuroscientists. In 2003, researchers at UCLA conducted a simple experiment. Participants played a virtual ball-tossing game with strangers. Everything felt normal. Everyone was included. Everyone participated. Then suddenly, without warning, the other players stopped passing the ball to one participant. No argument, no explanation, no conflict, just silence, just exclusion. What happened next surprised the researchers. Brain scans revealed that the same regions activated during social rejection were the regions associated with physical pain. Think about that. Your brain responds to exclusion almost the same way it responds to physical injury. To your nervous system, rejection is not merely emotional. It is a threat, a danger signal, a survival alarm. For most of human history, being separated from your tribe often meant death. So your brain evolved to treat silence and exclusion as emergencies. And this is where things become incredibly important for every believer. Because when heaven seems quiet, your brain does not naturally conclude that God is working behind the scenes. It cannot. That interpretation requires faith. Your brain operates on survival. So when prayer appears unanswered, your nervous system immediately begins searching for a reason. Something must be wrong. Someone must have left. I must have failed. I must not matter. And before long, silence becomes evidence. Not evidence that God is absent. Evidence that you believe He has rejected you. But here's the question most people never ask. What if the problem is not God's silence? What if the problem is your interpretation of it? Because Scripture repeatedly shows a pattern that completely contradicts what your brain assumes. Consider Joseph. For 13 years, heaven appeared silent, sold by his brothers, falsely accused, forgotten in prison, no visible rescue, no explanation, no immediate fulfillment of God's promise. If Joseph had interpreted God's silence through the lens of his circumstances, he could have concluded that the dream was a mistake, that God had abandoned him, that the promise had expired. Yet every painful chapter was secretly moving him toward the exact future God had spoken. Then there is David. Most people remember David as a king. Few remember David as a man who repeatedly felt abandoned. In Psalm 22, he cries out with shocking honesty, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Those are not polished religious words. They are the words of someone wrestling with silence, and yet something remarkable happens. The silence does not immediately end. No voice comes from heaven. No dramatic miracle appears. Instead, David does something that changes everything. He remembers. He recalls God's faithfulness in previous generations. He shifts his focus from what he cannot see to what God has already proven. And slowly, his perspective changes. Not because his circumstances changed, because his interpretation changed. That distinction matters more than most people realize. Because many believers spend years trying to escape a season that was actually preparing them. They interpret delay as denial, silence as rejection, waiting as abandonment. When in reality, God may be accomplishing his deepest work beneath the surface. The greatest trees develop roots nobody can see. The strongest faith is often built in seasons where nothing appears to be happening. And that leads to the most important truth in this entire conversation. The greatest danger was never God's silence. The greatest danger was believing your interpretation of it. Because the moment you mistake silence for rejection, your trust begins to erode. Your prayers become weaker. Your expectation disappears. Your hope starts negotiating with disappointment. And eventually, you stop waiting for what God never stopped preparing. Maybe God's silence is not proof that he left. Maybe it is proof that your current perspective cannot yet see what he is doing. Your brain was designed for survival. God is preparing you for eternity. Those are not the same objective. And when those two perspectives collide, silence can feel unbearable. But feelings are not always reliable narrators. Your brain says forgotten. God says chosen. Your brain says abandoned. God says held. Your brain says nothing is happening. God says, I am working all things together for good. So before you assume heaven has rejected you, ask yourself a different question. What if the silence is not evidence against God's faithfulness? What if it is the very place where his faithfulness is being revealed? Because sometimes the greatest miracle is not hearing God's voice. Sometimes the greatest miracle is learning to trust him before you do.